truck burns in Far, Texas, and more than one person on scene didn't even know what 911 was. Nobody could explain the emergency in English. They're discussing what 911 is in the video. In Texas, about 1 in 4 working-age adults speaks English less than very well. Immigrants are 23% of the Texas workforce, and a big chunk of our drivers and yard workers are in that mix. This isn't about accents or perfection, it's about minimum language skills in a job where seconds and words literally decide whether someone lives or dies. I didn't even notice that guy was just wandering with a fire extinguisher.
Be careful, bro. 119, I think, emergency.
No.
119?
Ya, ya hablaron.
119? 119?
No.
No, sorry.
What do you mean, no?
991.
Also, why is he saying 119? Why is it
991?
backwards?
911.
Emergency 991?
Sí.
See.
991?
No.
9? Yes, sir.
Hey, ya va a llegar al diésel, ya va a llegar al diésel.
Shrug? 911 isn't universally the emergency number? That's not an excuse! They're in America! They should know the fucking emergency number, man! Like, if I went to a different country, those are kind of things I would want to know in case of, I don't know, an emergency? Some people don't understand the concept of emergency services. Good thing there isn't anything explosive in there, otherwise all these people would be dead.
Flashback.
Hey, ya va a llegar al diésel, ya va a llegar al diésel.
End of flashback.
That's horrifying. Like, their lives are also in danger because they don't know what the fuck is going on where they live. How the F did they get their CDL? I think we all know how they got their CDL. I don't think we even need to ask. He doesn't even know how to use the fire extinguisher. What's the emergency number for the country I'm visiting? Things a simple Google search can solve in about 3 seconds. In the EU, they've mapped all the emergency numbers so that they work. 911, 119, 999.
You're getting a vigorous spanking because you've been a bad girl.
I have no idea what they do in Europe. I don't live there. Why did the Chicago Teachers Union spend $173,000 in New Mexico?
Tell me why the Chicago Teachers Union needs a recording studio in Mexico? In new documents, they spent $173,000 at 265 Sunset Road in Albuquerque. Their accounting describes it as a recording studio. Zillow shows it also has a pool. CTU described the payment as part of representational activities, which legally must be associated with the negotiation, administration, and enforcement of collective bargaining agreements. With an audit, CTU might be able to explain how a recording studio 1,000 miles away helps them with that, but they haven't released one of those in 5 years. Any questions, teachers?
And I was like, I'm very interested in what the fuck is going on with this. And thankfully, there was an article. Chicago Teachers Union spent $173,000 on poolside recording studio. Won't show audit to members. I'm so shocked that this kind of thing keeps happening. The Chicago Teachers Union's latest federal filing tells you how the union spends members' monies, and it calls into question what the union isn't telling them. CTU's filing shows it spent $173,000 on a recording studio in New Mexico with no helpful context on its purpose. But it did have a pool. If CTU released its annual audits to members as required in its internal rules, spending on a recording studio in New Mexico might have been an explanation. But since it hasn't released those audits since September 2020, members can only guess. That's a little funny. That's a little funny that since the Summer of Love 2020, the Chicago Teachers Union hasn't released a single financial audit. Ah, I see. They were also in bed with buy large mansions. CTU's questionable spending includes the New Mexico recording studio. Each year, CTU files a report with the U.S. Department of Labor detailing the money it has received and spent on the previous fiscal year. Buried within its 2025 report is a $173,000 expense to On Point Studios. The location, Albuquerque, New Mexico. The type of entity, a recording studio. CTU counted the money for the studio as representational activities, which the U.S. Department of Labor defines as those activities associated with preparation for and participation in the negotiation of collective bargaining agreements and the administration and enforcement of those agreements. It is unclear what a recording studio in New Mexico has to do with contract negotiations or administration in Chicago. But Zillow provides a glimpse of the residential location. The first pictures listed are of the 3-bedroom, 2-bath home's pool. I want a pool, man. With the union failing to release required annual audits to members, they have reason to question the union's spending practices. CTU still hasn't released required audits to its members. CTU's internal rules are clear. An annual audit must be performed and published each year. The CTU financial secretary is required in union bylaws to furnish an audited report of the union, which shall be printed in the union's publication. Similarly, the CTU Board of Trustees is to procure each year a reliable and adequate audit of the finances of the union for the preceding fiscal year ending June 30th, and to deliver a copy of said audit to other major officers, and to announce to the membership of the union that said report may be inspected in the union office by any member. You hate getting wet, though? I do. I do hate getting wet, but that's like in a shower or a bathtub. For some reason, pools are a little bit different. Maybe that's because they're so big and I don't touch anything like tile. Totally not them just blatantly siphoning money out of the system and into their own pockets. Buying like a teachers union party house is kind of fucking wild to me, too. The last audit was released September 9th, 2020, and covered through June 30th, 2019. Audits for subsequent fiscal years have not been released. When a CTU member raised questions, CTU President Stacey Davis Gates personally attacked the member, labeling the call for the release of the required audits a racist dog whistle. Every time you want accountability, every time you want answers to something that doesn't add up, anytime you point out inconsistencies or hypocrisy or violence, you're just a fucking racist for saying it. And they've been successful at shutting people up with this for so fucking long. Like, you can't even, like, be a black person and call this stuff out because they'll just call you an Uncle Tom. Like, it's just been working for so long, man. CTU's failure to provide required audits led several members to send a demand letter to CTU through their attorneys at the Liberty Justice Center. Instead of providing the required audits, the union engaged in intimidation tactics, singling out the members by name on a member-wide call. Once again, you're not allowed to call out the bad things they're doing, and if you want accountability for bad things, you're some kind of racist or homophobe or transphobe or whatever phobe or ist they can call you to just get you to shut up and sit down, or else they'll try to ruin your lives. It's absolutely wild that this kind of, like, fear has been an important part of every kind of corporate and schooling and political landscape, and you haven't been able to do anything about it. The members then filed suit in the Circuit Court of Cook County, and the union filed a motion to dismiss the case. In rejecting CTU's motion to dismiss, the judge noted CTU does not even directly dispute that it is required by its constitution to provide members with an annual audit. The latest filing by CTU on October 6th claims a summary audit was provided that should satisfy the lawsuit, but plaintiffs argue it does not represent a complete audit. Until CTU comes clean with its members, questions about its spending, such as on a poolside recording studio, will continue. And then this was on October 28th, and then a few days ago, we got another article. Chicago Teachers Union pulls teachers out of class away from students. Chicago Teachers Union members were encouraged to skip class to lobby state lawmakers during the veto session, politics over student learning at taxpayers' expense. Chicago Teachers Union urged members to use a release day to leave their classrooms and lobby state lawmakers for more funding. It's kind of like, I think it was in New York when I covered this last, where it was found that the New York Teachers Union was using a lot of money on shit that it shouldn't have been using it on. And then they were in the middle of trying to raise even more money. As just like, considering how many teachers are just grubby Marxists at this point, a lot of funding needs to be cut. A lot of places need to be making decisions, like in Claremont, New Hampshire, where they're just like, we're not gonna pay for your fuck-ups anymore, you know? And people don't want to do that because they're like, well, then the kids will suffer. And it's like, they're already suffering. The teachers are spending shit for themselves and not on the school district. Teachers participated in this day of action during regular school hours at taxpayer expense. Chicago public schools had to pay substitutes, and children were left without their regular teachers. CTU members already miss a significant number of days, with member attendance in schools at its lowest point in 10 years. CTU member attendance is 10% lower than the rest of the state. In a school district where fewer than 2 in 5 students read at grade level, 40.1% of students are chronically absent, and enrollment has declined by 9,000 students. Unions should not be pulling teachers out of classrooms as a part of their quest to become a controlling political party in Chicago. While I agree, I don't think the classrooms are going to have almost any significant changes having activist, selfish Marxist teachers out of the classroom lobbying for more funding when they're buying things like a $173,000 recording studio in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Like, I just don't think there's going to be any meaningful change. You need to get rid of these teachers and hire actual teachers. CTU just filed its annual report with the U.S. Department of Labor detailing its receipts and disbursements from the 2025 fiscal year that ended June 30th. It shows CTU doubled its political spending in 2025, reaching a new high. Less than 18% of CTU spending was on representing teachers, what should be the core focus. Union President Stacey Davis Gates gave herself a raise, bringing her total compensation to more than $273,000. For a union president, man? Questionable spending included over $173,000 for a recording studio with a swimming pool in New Mexico. With CTU members spending nearly $1,500 a year for union dues, it's clear that they get very little in return for their investment. She makes $273K to shake down the government? That's kind of wild. Chicago Teacher Union political spending surpasses $4 million. In 2019, this is just on political spending from the Chicago Teachers Union, it was $1.2 million. 2020 was $584K. I guess that was a good year, you know, they were getting their way. 2021, $761K. 2022, $1.05 mil. 2023, $3.05 mil. 2024, $2.04 mil. And 2025, $4.23 million. That's wild. That's like, man, $273K to fuck over the government. Sounds like a great gig. Well, it's less fucking over the government and more fucking over the children who go to school there, the parents who pay the taxes, the union members who aren't Marxist who pay dues. It's fucking over more of the little guy than the government. CTU may want to take a step back from its relentless political pursuits. According to a 2025 poll, 60% of Chicago voters have an unfavorable view of the union. I genuinely have not known a single person in any union to talk positively of the union. That's a big change from 2023 when the union bankrolled their lobbyist and got voters to put him in the Chicago mayor's office. Now, more than 57% are less likely to vote for a candidate if they accept campaign contributions from the CTU. Chicago educators who want more control over their dues and fewer union boss shenanigans have options. Teachers can get liability insurance and legal protection elsewhere, often at the fraction of the price of union membership. Educators can join other associations, such as the Association of American Educators or the Teachers Freedom Alliance. Teachers can opt out of union membership and keep all employer-provided benefits. By opting out of union membership, a teacher stops paying dues to the union, yet retains all benefits that are provided in the collective bargaining agreement with the school district. And if you can opt out of the membership and you stop paying the dues but retain all of the benefits, why would anyone want to be a member? Is my question. CTU only provides an annual window in August each year during which members can opt out and cease paying dues. Teachers interested in opting out can visit leavectu.com for more information and to sign up for a reminder to opt out. Is it any wonder that homeschooling has absolutely exploded in the last decade? Stop teaching my kids to hate America and maybe I'll start voting for the levies you want, right? Probably get a friendly visit to talk to you about leaving the union, maybe. Maybe. They gaslight like a motherfucker. You know, everyone does in current year. It's fucking awful. It's in Seattle this time. I'm so shocked. Seattle's new socialist mayor looks forward to coast-to-coast partnership with NYC's Zohran Mamdani. Thanks, Zohran. I'm proud to be in a fight with you for a democracy on the terms of working people, affordability, housing, safety, and more. From NYC to Seattle, this is your city. Is this like the American version of from the whatever to the sea? I can't even remember the fucking Palestine slogan. From the river to it's from the river to the sea. That's true. From the river to the sea. Apparently the USA is gonna be socialist territory. New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani has congratulated fellow socialist Katie Wilson for her win in Seattle's mayoral race. Incumbent Mayor Bruce Harrell conceded in the race on Thursday to Wilson. Congratulations to Seattle's Mayor-elect Katie Wilson, wrote Mamdani. Seattle voters made their voices heard. They want a new kind of politics, one that rejects corporate PAC money and delivers for working people. From one mayor-elect to another, wishing you the best, Seattle is in great hands. I wish, like these socialists, the Republicans could, once again, stop caring about the optics. None of these people care that we criticize them. None of these people care that we scream about how they're fucking communists who are going to ruin the country. They keep pushing forward their policy regardless. And I wish Republicans could take a page out of that book. It shouldn't matter what leftists say. It shouldn't matter how they criticize you. You should be listening to your constituents, man. Wilson replied, "Thanks, Zohran. I'm proud to be in the fight with you for a democracy on the terms of working people. Affordability, housing, safety, and more from NYC to Seattle. This is your city." In her victory speech Thursday, Wilson said, "I want everyone in this great city of ours to have a roof over their head. I want universal childcare, free K-8 summer care. I want stable, affordable housing for renters. I want social housing. I want much more land and wealth to be owned by steward communities instead of corporations." What is a steward community? "I want a robust economy with thriving small businesses, great living wage jobs, and strong rights for workers. I believe that I will be stepping into office with a strong mandate to pursue this vision," she said. In an interview with CNN held in the wake of her victory, Wilson claimed that she didn't run on the socialist label during her mayoral campaign, to which host Aaron Burnett played a montage of Wilson and Mamdani saying nearly identical talking points on the campaign trail, including the affordability crisis of their respective areas, and that this is your city, referring to the residents. This is once again the typical word games that communists play. I didn't say I was a socialist. I merely said all of the socialist talking points. So it's unfair of you to call me a socialist. From the river to the sea, everyone will be on EBT. True.
So obviously, you just mentioned some of the words that here in New York we heard a lot from the mayor-elect here, Zohran Mamdani, right? When you talk about affordability. But the word echoes don't end there, Mayor-elect. Let me play some of them.
The very clear twin crises of affordability.
We are facing an affordability crisis.
Truly affordable homes.
An affordable homeownership.
This city is your city.
This isn't their city, it's yours.
A new generation of leadership.
We can see with our own eyes that we need new leadership.
I mean, we sometimes will put what we call a montage together like that, Mayor-elect. It doesn't get easier than that one. I mean, it really does sound, you sound so much alike. I guess I'm just curious, have you ever met him? Have you talked to each other at all since either of your victories, which are so important on Coast?
This kind of makes me think about how when people talk about, oh, Kirsche is a Nazi, she says Nazi talking points. But it's like, I haven't advocated for anything that is even remotely similar. It's wondrous to see like the cognitive dissonance in action where it's something that they do. So surely you must be using similarly coded language. Kind of weak, boilerplate liberal sound bites. Yeah, I wish they had a bit more meat to it, but it is CNN. This is like the most journalistic integrity CNN has had in decades. So it's interesting to see the juxtaposition. And once again, even if she was trying to say I didn't have the socialist label, she's immediately working together with Zohran and being like, yes, this is the partnership that I desire with you, socialist man. So it is a very easy connection to make.
Coast to coast?
Not yet, although I certainly hope to. And it's funny because when I decided to run in this race, which was in February of this year, I'd never heard of Zohran Mamdani, and so it was a fun process over the first few months of my campaign to start getting text messages from friends. Oh, you got to check out this guy in New York City. And so I really do think it's remarkable and also makes a lot of sense, right? I think that there are some similar conditions playing out here in Seattle to New York. Obviously the affordability crisis being a big one. And yeah, there's some very similar dynamics. And I'm really excited to have a coast-to-coast partnership on driving forward this vision of an affordable city.
Driving forward the vision of an affordable city. What does that even mean? What does that look like? Who's going to fund it all? What's the over-under, you think, on how likely it is that they're in a shared Discord server and she's lying about not knowing him? That's probably pretty high. Socialism is a wonderful idea. It's only in practice that it becomes disastrous. A shared furry RP server. What the hell? Before the woman can say billionaires, they would have already left the state. Yeah. Yeah. The middle class people are always the ones who end up suffering because all of the rich people who can afford to move out do so. And then the tax burden becomes on those who are barely scraping by to start providing for the people who do nothing. Christian march on Muslim-infested Dearborn, Michigan starts in 1 hour. We have bacon and Qurans ready for the grill. Americans push back now against Islamification before we fall like spineless Europe. Schaefer and Michigan Avenue, 3 p.m. Eastern. Hey, that's when I started stream.
Live in Dearborn, Michigan for the March Against Islamification. We will not let our country fall and become like London. We will stand strong against these Islamic invaders. These jihadis will have to go. Christians in America, you need to stand up before your daughters are raped in the streets like the animals that they think we are. They call us kafirs. They hate us and they want to destroy white people and Christian America. We will not allow it to happen. Dearborn, Michigan, 3 p.m. today, Schaefer Road and Michigan Avenue, a peaceful march standing strong against the jihadi Muslims. God bless America.
Interesting. Where did this go? Journalist Cam Higby was just attacked and pepper sprayed by a leftist in Muslim-controlled Dearborn, Michigan, simply for filming a protest. Leftists attacking conservative journalists has become way too common. Punishments must be harsher and examples must be made. This must end.
Feel stupid. Because they are stupid, all right?
Sir, why is he not welcome on a public sidewalk?
Get the camera out of my face. Get that camera out of my face or I will take it from you, okay?
Bro has the crazy eyes. Holy shit.
Phone right here. Is this his phone? All right, guys, he just got pepper sprayed for attacking and assaulting someone. No, you're not gonna get your phone. Actually, you get it. Here you go. There we go. Yeah.
But he got pepper sprayed for attacking and assaulting someone? What the fuck do you mean by this, you retard? He was standing there with a camera.
Come on in.
No! Disgusting fuck pepper spray. No! Why did pepper spray? What did he do? Everybody back up.
I got his phone.
Right there, that's okay.
Keep them close, try not to rub them. All right.
That's a lot of drool. I've never been pepper sprayed, but I can only imagine the pain. Christian nationalists blocked from burning the Quran. Muslims rush and block Christians from burning the Quran in Dearborn, Michigan. They steal the book, camera equipment is broken, and police refuse to intervene. Antifa and Muslims join forces in an unholy alliance to prevent Americans from exercising free speech. Journalist is attacked, as with America First protesters.
It's America. Hey, it's America. That's my property. That's America. We do respect America. We're looking for pepper. Hey, trying to pepper spray. Jihadi right there. Jihadi's right there. Listen. We do respect America. Allah. Go back to your country.
They're fucking waving Palestine flags too.
Watch out. We have a First Amendment right in this country. We have a First Amendment right in this country. We can burn any... That's the free state shit! This is our country. And the Bible, it says...
I like how one of them is shouting in the Bible, it says, it's literally that meme. I don't believe in your book, and I wouldn't do anything if you use this argument on me, but I'm going to use it on you in the hopes that you capitulate to what I want you to do. It's so fucking tiresome, brother.
the Bible and beheaded Christians.
We don't respect religion. We don't respect religion. We never respect your religion. We never respect your religion.
We never respect your religion.
This
is a hate crime. Fuck off.
Yeah, beef bacon if you want. Yeah, beef bacon. No, beef bacon. I don't want beef bacon. Really tasty. Hey! Guys.
Here. Especially where? Here. In America.
Outer Street. This is why Dearborn, Michigan needs to be cleared and swiped of Muslims. They don't know how to behave. You take out. No, I don't want to be anywhere near Dearborn. I don't want to be. Get away from me. You Muslim sympathizer.
Muslim Brotherhood's entrist strategy for the West, French anthropologist Florence Blackler warns of universities becoming hotbeds for establishing a long-term cultural and ideological infiltration. The Muslim Brotherhood is banned in a number of countries, like the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Egypt. That doesn't mean they don't exist in those countries, but they are forced underground. They do not have the right to have political parties, so they can exist, but they are fought. Why are they fought? Because they threaten the powers in place. The reasons why we, in our democratic, liberal, and above all secular societies, combat them is that obviously their theocratic project is not acceptable for a healthy democracy. It's simply inconceivable. Moreover, we have forgotten what a theocracy is in our countries. So we accept them out of ignorance, and because they have effectively prevented this knowledge from being produced, and in a way that neutralizes the enemy, because for them, we are their enemies. Very relevant to right now. Federal agents make 130 arrests in 48 hours as immigration crackdown puts Charlotte on edge. Federal agents fanned out across North Carolina's largest city over the weekend, detaining more than 130 people in the first 48 hours of its immigration crackdown that has prompted protests and resistance from local leaders. Greg Bovino, commander-at-large spearheading the crackdown for the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, vowed in a social media post on Sunday that his agents would hit Charlotte like a storm. Good! 130 is a nice start, but we need to pump them numbers up. Take the advice from Ludwig, after all. On Monday, a Department of Homeland Security spokesperson told ABC News that those arrested in Charlotte over the weekend by CBP and U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement allegedly have all broken the immigration laws of our country. Criminal records of those arrested include known gang membership, aggravated assault, possession of a dangerous weapon, felony larceny, simple assault, hit and run, possession of stolen goods, shoplifting, DUI, DWI, and illegal re-entry after prior deportation, a felony, a DHS spokesperson said. We will not stop enforcing the laws of our nation until every criminal illegal alien is arrested and removed from our country. Of the more than 130 people taken into custody in Charlotte over the weekend, 81 people were arrested in the first 5 hours of the operation. Charlotte's Web, as it's called, on Sunday, according to Bovino. Charlotte is the largest city targeted in a nationwide Trump administration immigration enforcement blitz that has included Los Angeles and Chicago, which, like Charlotte, are sanctuary cities that are run by Democratic mayors. I said largest, it said latest. I needed to reread. Sorry, it's 8 p.m. chat. My brain is fried. I was going to say Charlotte's not larger than Los Angeles. Charlotte is the latest city. Federal agents are expected to stay in Charlotte until Friday, according to preliminary information from federal authorities. By the end of the week, about 200 agents are expected to be redeployed to New Orleans to begin Operation Catahoula Crunch in the Big Easy, according to multiple law enforcement sources. Catahoula is a fun word to say. I've never heard that word before. Sanctuary cities do not exist. Just send in the National Guard. Yeah, I don't really understand how sanctuary cities were allowed to even be set up as they run afoul of federal immigration law. It's like, how are you able to do something illegal? Like, states' rights and all that, but you can't mandate something that's illegal be legal in your city? ? I don't know. That's weird. The Catahoula dogs are cute. I don't know what those are. It's a dog breed? What the hell? In a joint statement released Saturday, Charlotte and Mecklenburg County elected officials, including Charlotte Mayor V. Lyles, slammed the CBP operation, saying they're causing unnecessary fear and uncertainty in our community. It is critical for all residents to feel secure in our community and know that they can live their lives without being fearful while walking down the street, going to school, work, or the grocery store. Get the illegal immigrants out, man. The people who are here legally and not by committing fraud, and the actual citizens should be your priority. And it's wild to me the Democrats keep saying this shit and they never end up getting called out for it by anyone that actually can do something about it. Like, I'm tired. In advance of the CBP arriving in Charlotte, North Carolina, Governor Josh Stein, a Democrat, released a statement asking residents to report any inappropriate behavior they witness from federal agents. They're just going to report ICE existing, which that's not inappropriate behavior. I want more arrests. If you see any inappropriate behavior, use your phones to record and notify local law enforcement, who will continue to keep our communities safe after these federal agents leave. I love that. I would like everyone to record. I can agree with that. Always record, because it gives you information, and information you can see with your eyes. At least if there's a functioning brain behind those eyes, you'll be able to understand what's going on. Over the weekend, eyewitnesses filmed and photographed several incidents in which masked agents arrested residents inside Charlotte. The footage captured CBP agents stopping and pulling people from vehicles and rounding up others at stores and parking lots. This is what I voted for. Even naturalized U.S. citizens like 46-year-old Willie Asietuno were not spared from getting snared in Charlotte's web. Asietuno told ABC affiliate station WSOC in Charlotte that he was stopped twice within 5 minutes by federal agents on Saturday. He said the second time he was stopped, agents broke his window and forced him out of his vehicle. He said he told them he was a U.S. citizen. Yeah, telling them doesn't mean anything. They want your papers, man. They want your papers. And they're not going to break your window. Can you tell me what happened leading up to them breaking your window? Can you explain to me what happened before that? They asked me, hey, give me your papers. And I say, I'm scared because I give them to you 5 minutes ago. So there's a sick in here. They put brackets, which means he didn't actually say them too. So he said, I'm scared because I give you 5 minutes ago. I have that meme showing up in my head. Asietuno means olive. Wait, really? That's fucking hilarious. Yeah, body cam time. Let's get a body cam check, man. Adding that he was released after he showed agents documents proving his citizenship. Was it proving citizenship, or was it proving he had like a green card or something? Because like his English makes me concerned for what kind of legality he is here on. The Department of Homeland Security told ABC News that Asietuno was stopped because he was interfering with their operations, an allegation Asietuno denied. Chat, who do I believe? I don't like feds, and I think that they'll lie sometimes, but I also don't like the people who are lying to protect illegals. The liars on both sides, brother. A DHS spokesperson made no apologies for the federal crackdown in Charlotte. We're surging DHS law enforcement to Charlotte to ensure Americans are safe and public safety threats are removed, DHS spokesperson said in a statement. There have been too many victims of criminal illegal aliens, and President Donald Trump and Secretary Kristi Noem will step up to protect Americans when sanctuary politicians will not. Police are not all bad. These aren't police. These are federal agents. ICE is not local police or like state police. Show the body cam, go from there. I always want to see the body cam, man. I always want to see the body cam. I don't, you know, living in a world where the feds might be more honest than the people giving interviews is a wild clown world I don't like perceiving. And then Granddaughter of Charlotte's Web author criticizes the use of book title in DHS immigration crackdown operation. In the popular children's book, Charlotte's Web, the title character, a spider, uses her web as an instrument of good to help secure the freedom of Wilbur, a pig on her farm. Federal immigration officials used the book's title to name their latest crackdown in Charlotte, North Carolina, Operation Charlotte's Web. The author's granddaughter drew a sharp contrast Sunday between the federal raids and the ideals E.B. White highlighted in the beloved book, in a statement Martha White shared with CNN. Her grandfather certainly didn't believe in masked men in unmarked cars raiding people's homes and workplaces without IDs or summons, said White, who is also her grandfather's literary executor. Executor. In the statement. He didn't condone fear-mongering. It's not fear-mongering to remove people who are in the country illegally. That's not fear-mongering, brother. I don't know what you mean by this. Ice is making puns using my grandfather's book. No. Charlotte also kills and eats her mate. That's what spiders do. The Pokemon? Yeah, the Pokemon was implicated. He believes in the rule of law and due process, Martha White said of her grandfather. Well, then wouldn't he be for criminals being removed and not getting due process because they're not citizens? They're criminals of a foreign nation? What the fuck do you mean? The move into North Carolina comes as agents have arrested thousands across the nation, including dozens in Charlotte, in immigration raids and deported nearly 200,000 people as of late August. We need to get them numbers up! The controversy highlights the tension between the Trump administration efforts to arrest and deport immigrants it deems criminals and the work of civic and community groups highlighting residents' rights. I'm really sick of seeing the word resident because when they say resident, it's another obfuscation to conflate people here legally and not committing fraud and people here illegally. For contrast, look up the author of The Wizard of Oz's opinions. I don't think that would be safe for stream. The operation in Charlotte seeks to target the criminal illegal aliens who flocked to the Tar Heel state because they knew sanctuary politicians would protect them and allow them to roam free on American streets. The crackdowns have led to sharp criticism from politicians and community organizations alike. In Charlotte, we've seen masked, heavily armed agents in paramilitary garb driving unmarked cars targeting American citizens based on their skin color. No. I just don't believe you. Racially profiling and picking up random people in parking lots and off of our sidewalks, North Carolina Governor Josh Stein said in a social media message. Bovino cited Charlotte's Web in his X post that gave a nod to agents involved in the operation. Wherever the wind takes us, high, low, near, far, east, west, north, south, we take to the breeze, we go as we please. In the book, that's when Charlotte's babies hatch and fly off, leaving Wilbur to cry himself to sleep, only to find out the next morning that 3 spiders stayed to keep him company. White highlighted the message of generosity and inclusion that permeates the children's tale. By helping you, perhaps I was trying to lift up my life a little, Charlotte says in the book. Heaven knows anyone's life can stand a little of that. Yes, but you don't do that to criminals. You don't prioritize the criminals' feelings over people who deserve to feel safe. Why is this even a conversation? I'm losing my mind. CNN has reached out to DHS for comment on Martha White's statement. I don't think they would respond. Charlotte is the latest city in the Trump administration's crosshairs to face an immigration crackdown. Border Patrol agents on Saturday arrested 81 people in the city during a surge of immigration enforcement. Arrests took place during a span of 5 hours. We read that in the other article. Several businesses closed temporarily after the operation was announced, including a popular Colombian bakery that had shuttered its doors only once in the past 28 years. Wouldn't that be a red flag? If immigration enforcement comes into a sanctuary city known for protecting illegal immigrants and certain businesses decide, well, we're just not gonna open. If I was a fucking ICE agent, my mind would immediately go to, we need a list of everyone that works for that place, because that's suspicious. I need to protect my customers. I need to protect my people. I need to protect myself and my family, said Manuel Manolo Betanker, who closed his family bakery Saturday after seeing men in green uniforms chase and tackle people outside the shop. He said he isn't sure when he will reopen. And see, this is the problem. I need to protect my people. Your people at this point should be Americans. If you are an American citizen and you came to America for a better life, and thus it gave you by the way that you have a family business, the Americans should be your people, not the illegal alien criminals. Mom criticized the use of daughter's story for Operation Midway Blitz. It's not the first time Trump administration has been criticized for basing the name for an immigration operation on someone's story. The mother of the woman who became the face of Operation Midway Blitz in Chicago last month, said her daughter would not have wanted to be associated with the crackdown. I don't know what happened here, so I don't know what happened to her daughter. Does it tell me if I look at this? Mom says slain Illinois woman wouldn't want to be tied to Trump's immigration blitz. Chat, if I ever get killed by an illegal immigrant, please use my death to push even harsher restrictions. Cause holy fuck, the tone deafness of this is crazy. If I was a parent and my child got murdered, I would be on a hellfire blitz, dude. I would not be like, no, I would be fucking furious. Are you kidding me? These people are inhuman. The Department of Homeland Security said it launched the enforcement push in honor of Katie Abraham, an Illinois woman who authorities said was killed in a drunken driving hit-and-run crash by a man who was in the U.S. illegally. Chad, I keep doing the woman thing where my question gets answered immediately after I ask it. That's okay, we looked it up, we're fine. Her mother, Denise Lawrence, decided to speak out after realizing the operations association with her daughter wasn't going away. She wrote in an op-ed for the Chicago Tribune, "I'm a good person! My daughter was a sacrifice and I'm a good person, please!" Losing a child unlocked a pain I never knew existed. Losing a child to a crime adds to the depths of despair. Having my child's legacy be associated with a politically charged and controversial operation, instead of the positivity and light she contributed to those within her community, is simply unbearable. Your daughter would still be fucking alive if that illegal wasn't here. What the fuck do you mean? Her daughter would not want to be associated with the immigration crackdown in a city she loved and felt safe in. Lorenz wrote in the op-ed titled, "My daughter is the face of Operation Midway Blitz. I am reclaiming her legacy." What a disgusting individual. She said Abraham wasn't political, she avoided confrontation, and was the person people wanted to be around. Yeah, your daughter wasn't political, but politics certainly came for her when she was killed by an illegal who otherwise wouldn't be here if we had actual law being enforced in our country. I swear these people have more Swiss cheese brain than I do. Lorenz acknowledged that Abraham's father, Joe Abraham, and his wife agreed that Katie's name could be used for the operation. Oh, well, now we know why this woman was divorced. Joe Abraham previously told CNN the federal government failed to miserably in protecting his daughter and that state politicians ignored her death and by extension let it happen. Based father! Based fucking father! Whether or not you agree with Operation Midway Blitz is not the story I'm here to write, Lawrence wrote, but she did not choose to be thrust into this political spotlight to advance an operation she knew nothing about. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. The shit you vote for is going to create more people like your daughter. Martha White also emphasized the distance between her grandfather's work and those trying to appropriate it. It's important to know when to speak up, she said in her statement, to expose the lies or misperceptions. The rule of law still applies in sanctuary cities, by the way, and when they deny the limelight that feeds the cruelty. These people are just insane. And like, I don't even know what to say about it anymore, because it's like, it's just the same thing over and over and over. And you can't have conversations with people who don't live in reality. And politicians aren't doing anything about these people who don't live in reality. And I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. Well,